Hey there, it's Jeannie Blaha with Take a Walk with Your Angels and JoyFlames.com out of Colorado. I always love this question. Obviously, it's a big one on the scale of life, of desiring to know this for many people, which is how do I know if I am with the one, right? Having to do with heart partnerships. And it's interesting because those in the quantum often say, instead of focusing on, is this man or woman the one for me? Instead, ask each time that you are dating anybody, what is our message together? Why might we have crossed paths? What's our theme that we've brought together? Correct? Yeah? Have you had that feeling? So it pulls it out of that pressurized state. Is this the one? Because every time you think that, you're putting on all this, call it expectation, call it a more rigid idea, maybe a rigid view of what you had believed or you have been believing about what that looks like or what that's going to act like. You may be very surprised that the person that ends up being with you for a lifetime of adventures is actually a lot unlike you, maybe, or has some traits at first that you're like, wow, that's very different. I've never come across that. I would have never thought I'd be with somebody who has access to this or is capable of doing this or has a gift that I never even knew about, right? So instead of giving that rigidity or that more of a linear look at it of, well, he or she has to have this and that and this and that, instead go wide, go big, expand, and consider with each person that you're coming across. Like I said, dating, whether you do it online or offline or wherever you are dating, you're going to events and you're having these encounters and you feel that spark and that little bit of chemistry, like what's that about? Or maybe a lot of chemistry. And you start asking the question, why did our paths cross today? What are our souls doing together? How'd they come to meet? What's this magnetism going on here? Instead of leaping right into that, is this the one? Oh my God, maybe he or she is the one. And because you can actually restrict it, you can pull it down or closer to starting to negate things that maybe later on you'll be like, oh, I should have negated that or wrote that off. And then, so they often talk about this as far as the oneness piece. And at the end of the day, we are all one. So imagine that idea that we're putting out there. Is this the one? Is that the one? This is all oneness, and it's just a matter of, okay, let's bring it to the earth tangible, right? Because I'm all about that. If you are currently residing in a relationship or a dating thing or a fly-by-night thing, doesn't matter what it is, and you're wondering about it, the key questions they say are, is this an empowering connection? Is this something where I feel like I'm helping this person to be empowered and he or she is helping me to be empowered? Or are you running into battles and fights and proving yourself and game playing and manipulating and controlling and even down to, people can start this in the first couple weeks of dating where they start getting into a battle. I'm sure you've seen it where you're like, why are they fighting? It seems like this person is proving themselves to the other or they're defending themselves a lot. Here's the thing. According to those in quantum, spirit, the greatest loves of all time will come through spirit oftentimes and say, it's not about making it hard and having a super challenging relationship. If it's that, you can bet your life on it that that's not going to be necessarily, I'll put it like that, we won't put the never never on it, the person who you're going to be with your whole life, or for many lifetimes, for many concurrent existences. It's for in your life for a different reason, and it's probably just a reflection, a mirror coming back to you, defining some areas in you that you are not really appreciating in yourself or that you don't want anymore, or you want to shed those areas of whatever that might be, and being really clear and honest with yourself and saying that thing and that person is bothering so much. Where is it in me? What am I doing with, where have I stuffed that? Because it's having to come back at me in a really loud way right now through that other person, right? The more synced up you are with yourself, the more you're stepping into your love with yourself and you are very accepting and allowing of who you are, then you're going to see all your relationships get into that mode where you're like, God, I have so many supportive people around me who are so loving and they get me, you know? If you're still proving yourself to somebody, a date, partner, person, and still defending yourself, it may be time to let that go. Because it's not empowering you, obviously. Anytime we have to prove ourselves, it's just ego stuff getting in there, and it's not empowerment. Or defending. is even that too. It's not, you're not standing in an empowered place if you're still defending. Or if you are trying to make something still work that you know deep in your gut is not it. Like betrayal, affairs, hurt after hurt after hurt after hurt with a person, where you're saying, oh my gosh, it's the same pattern all over again, and he or she said this was done 6 months ago and it's not. Pay attention to all that, because it's your highest self, your essential self, is not going to encourage you to stay in something that is, on both ends, not powered up. Because the person who is doing that, perpetrating those kinds of disloyalties unto you, are also doing it themselves. That means they are not powered up at all. So we have to get courageous and take a look at our deepest heart partnership and say, what's going on here? Let's see. Do I want to continue to live like this? Or am I in my joy and peace with that person? You're going to notice. Check out the people, the partners that you see that are having a blast together. And they could have been together 2 years or 30. And they are having fun. They flirt. They engage always. They don't have their phones up on their faces when they're together at the restaurant. They are going to events, and you can tell that they're together, and yet they're very connected to humanity at the same time. So while this is going on, you're like, God, those guys are like inseparable. You might even think of them as the same person. Because that happens too often, where people will start to roll your names across each other, so you're getting called the man or woman's name instead of your own. And check in and ask them some, hey, give me some secrets about how did you get here? How did this happen that you have this connection this strong like this? And it's so full of fun and adventure. No matter what you guys are going through, you're still laughing, you're still loving, you still treat each other with kindness and everyone else with kindness and mindfulness and humility and loyalty, dedication, right? So again, if it's hard, if it's heavy, if you walk away from whomever this is and you feel drained, that is not an empowered relationship, and it is not necessarily, according to those in quantum, in your best interest to continue that way. Because obviously, if we are allowing ourselves to become more and more disempowered, we are also doing that to the world. We are less powered up for the world, we're less powered up for our children, for the animals, for everything. So sticking it out with people who continue to do their patterns and roll with the things and the treatment and the dark stuff, and to stick it out and, well, maybe they'll change, maybe it is not empowering to yourself, obviously, but also you're not helping them become empowered, because you are accepting that rather than saying, I'm not going to accept anymore. I got to go. I'll love you from afar, right? We can do a lot from afar with peace and love. All right, on that note, take care. This is Jeannie Blaha to Colorado with Take a Walk with Your Angels and JoyFlames.com. Feel free to share this video if so compelled, and love you lots.